Okay. I had a self-talk conversation because of oh gosh, there's a lot of stuff that I experience about knowing what it is that I am, and that I naturally communicated with everybody on all my videos. But because I am so sensitive, particularly with native folks here on the planet, okay, um, how this sort of works. So I figure I'm just going to put it up, okay, and that deals with reality streams. I'll use the Voyager's term, angelic realities versus death spiral realities, right? So at the end of the day, I would say you're the chooser, we're the choosers of what we're choosing to experience using the energy that we are. So I go, man, I'm back to 4 years of age. Get rid of that TV set, which would be the same thing as getting rid of the phone. Because the same folks that are rolling out the TV sets are rolling out the phones. Okay? Which means get rid of this crap. Okay? So what that means is that when I put through everything through lower consciousness and higher consciousness and where you want to go and why you're going where you're going, because it's not up to me, it's up to you because it's your journey. So you realize when you're down here, I'm down here to do a job on behalf of the one, because I'm a polarity, oversoul polarity integrator. That means that I don't experience being in a wetsuit, okay, between a non-reactive state and a reactive state, and the reactive state is the polarity. So I normally don't experience polarization of consciousness. That's Cosmina, okay? So this is why when my clan mother and Patty Broussard and a couple others were having a conversation about bloodlines and all that, that was foreign to me. Now, it's foreign to me because it means that I can be in anything because my energy is in everything. Because that's what it began with, and that's what it never ends with. So that means, I've mentioned this before about the same energy running through a tree is the same energy that I am. The same energy running through a bear is the same energy that I am. That means I'm in everything. Remember, I've talked about this before. Everything that you are is everything that I'm giving love to. Okay, so that means the energy that's running through you is the same energy that's running through me that I'm giving love to. So now we're back to making measurements of learning. So when I light myself on fire, what does that mean? That's called full recalibration, which is full restoration. That's cosmic level reset. That's cosmic level avatar. And why is that? Because I am not an inverter. It was difficult enough for me when I came into this suit, right, when I was 4 years of age, and realized I'm counting every crime. And every crime means I'm not experiencing what love is. Now scale that from the beginning, the first creative expression, which is eternal love. And then everything that I'm experiencing here is in 4 years of age that isn't. That has to be, if you will, collapsed. Which means if it isn't what love is, as a polarity integrator, I have to collapse it. Because anything that is artificial is not real. Therefore, consciousness is held trapped in an artificial environment because they don't know one from the other. To know one is to experience being one. And to experience being one is the first line of communication. That's eternal love. That means we experience eternal love through our heart. So that means eternity is everywhere. You cannot escape it. One is everywhere, which means one created the first creative expression. So I'm always with the one. Okay, so what this means, you can see how this works when I deal with, or work a lot with, negatives. The negative matic polarity bloodline, right? Purifying everything. That's what a purifier is. An oversoul polarity integrator is a purifier, which is to purify the realm, which means running the hottest fire, which is the eternal spirit of fire. That's what I'm, the eternal spirit of fire. So you realize you're operating at different levels down here as a result of the speed. The speed of what? To heal. To experience the purest light, which is Cosmina. That's always home. And that's what it means to come in and come out. Come in and come out, which means non-physical body, non-tech, which is polarized. And then I'm not in the tech. I'm in the tech, and I'm not in the tech. That means you can run any tech you want. Make any presentation that you want because you're a creative artist, the first musician, the first line of communication. So everything that when I turn one of these phones on and take a look at everything I'm being shown, what I'm actually measuring is whether I'm experiencing what love is through what it is. Is it expressing what love is? No. All the stuff that's coming across my screen through all the ways in which it does, I'm measuring whether it's fear-based or love-based, which means it's either fear-based communication or it's love-based communication. So if it's fear-based communication, I immediately tune it out. It means you know how to run a radio set. That's called a default frequency. Now I'm back to the one. So love is a law, and there isn't any exceptions. So you either are what that is or you're not what that is, because you know how to tune your radio set into what that is. Right? So anything that I experience with my radio set that isn't what love is, I tune that out to go back to what it is that I am, which is what love is. So in other words, if I'm going to allow my consciousness to be running a circulation library in which I'm pushing the same stuff that isn't lawful, then I become a participant in a war crime. Because what do you think it does to children and everyone else that's experiencing what I'm circulating? That represents what? Fear. And that's a lie. Okay? So I don't live in a lie. I live in the truth, which is what love is. So I even have to catch myself sometimes when I see somebody's fear-based stuff, communications like cyber attacks and all the rest of the stuff that I'm circulating. I'm going, what in the hell am I doing? You know, for the longest time, I'm putting up roses, hearts. This is who we are. This is who we are. I'm not what that is. This is who I am. And it's like, stop. This is why I got a signal a year ago. Get rid of the same folks that rolled out all the TV sets and all the junk to get their consciousness trapped into the artificial intelligence programming, which is the 13 Metatronic reversal. Okay? The more that we keep circulating this stuff through the same communication system they rolled out, keeps consciousness trapped in that circulating library of regurgitating the same stuff. I'll give you an example. My clan mother, okay, and I say that out of my respect to her because I'm running the same bloodline, okay? But I'm a free spirit, which means I don't hold myself captive to another unit of consciousness. My job is to have the sun that is always on, always gifting, so that wherever I go, they're not experiencing anything less than what I am, which is the purest of love, which is absolute love. So my energy is in everything. So I've always known that since I was a little kid. So this was a massive healing job. That was my job. I wanted to heal everything that isn't experiencing what love is. That's my perspective. That's my perception. So I have a little bit of a different perception because I have the right to be able to have a different perception because I am what love is, which is what frees us from being held captive by what others experience that doesn't serve us, because love is the law. And it's no longer negotiable. That's why everything that's going down right now. Now, either you know that or you don't know that. So what I do is I monitor, see who knows that. So that's why I go to different little places to see the information that's coming out by those that know that. That tells me they're getting the memo through us because I'm a guardian. So what we're looking at here is monitoring the speed at which people are getting the communication by being able to translate the codes that are running through the server when you become aware of it. Here's an example. Yesterday, if you've ever heard me talk about stuff that's gone all the way back to when I was a little kid, and particularly when I was a firefighter, and I talked about the difference, the speed ratio harmonic between a flash point and the ignition point. They're not the same, right? Then I see there's a very popular documentary that's coming out now by Jim Casaville, I believe is his name. He's the director or producer of this film that deals with the Underground Railroad. That was how I first came to know it, about child trafficking, particularly sex slave trafficking, has now become the #1 cash cow for these folks, right? And so it was one of these reel-to-reels advertisements basically for this, and it actually had a beautiful part of the film that they were showing, how folks that used to be part of the cartel are no longer part of the cartel. Now they've gone black. Now they're on the side with the children, with us, okay? To shut that network down, because it's energy harvesting is what it is at the end of the day. It's like harvesting God's children. That's how I perceive it. To use it in sort of a colloquial English language way, because people can understand what you mean when you say that. Because of all the religious programming. And so at the very top, as like a headliner of what this reel-to-reel was running with Jim Casavell's, I believe it's called The Sound of Freedom, it said Flashpoint. And that, so in other words, you see how the circulation library of words and fire letters come back to us, because when it becomes aware of what we become aware of in order to hold consciousness trapped to that, it will spit back those same fire letters and then use them to attract us. Oh, the flashpoint. I know, and it's all programming. So this is one of the reasons why I was monitoring some other channels in the mass media of stuff that when I put certain letters, the sounds, into the system, when it just comes out spontaneously, it's being circulated through the artificial intelligence. And then I see it come back to me by virtue of how they invert it through other mouthpieces, other speakerphones, right? And so a lot of folks don't understand how that actually works to keep consciousness trap and a lower consciousness trap into the inverted reality. You know, there's a difference between an inverted reality and an angelic reality. And the difference between the two is a torque speed difference between one and the other, which is the difference between real light and artificial light, a dead magnet and a living magnet. And the one that we're choosing to be with, which runs at a higher rate of speed. So when you're running at a higher rate of speed, because you're no longer holding any energy captive, like electrons, now you got all those electrons that you can use to go faster. Well, now you're a hyperdrive, which is faster than a warp drive. So the stealth code allows us to come in and out to get work done, because now we're not experiencing what? Any interference. Remember Kim Gogoon talked about interference signals, implants? See how that works? It's called spiritual immunity. If guardians were to come in here to do work and not be interfered with, then the implants would prevent us from being able to get that work done. So now you can see the speed of the energy, which is the speed of the light, which represents the soul consciousness. My soul consciousness runs pure light, as pure can get. That's eternal spirit of fire in order to get the work done. That's what I do. Okay, so I'm always with the one. That's why, as a suggestion, sometimes when I go out here to the rock, the first thing I do with the sun is I put the first pillar, which looks like a wand, the diamond. I'm a diamond pink heart. That's the energy that I run. It's the girl's rose. It's Sophia, Gaia Sophia Ascending. My first teacher, which is wisdom. Love is wisdom, because that's what heals us. So I have to bite the bullet a lot of times and just realize that, you know, people can put up whatever they want to put up for whatever reason they want to put up what they want to put up. But I have certain channels that I monitor that always lift my heart, because I realize they have large communities of folks that are waking up. They no longer want to be held captive to those things that don't serve them, right? Because they want to experience more love, which is more light, which heals us, right? So that's what we're doing. That's why we're here, right? Isn't that our function? Our primary function, the primal sound and light field, which is what love is? But it's not up to me to decide what your future is or what you experience at any time. It's sort of understood that if you're energy and you're conscious and aware of yourself and you're intelligent and you're creative, or if you're just intelligent, what basic logic is, what a basic log is. And that's a math function, right? So you know that the highest mathematician there is the first creative expression, because the math is built in, which means the spiritual flow of energy is built in. So there's zero errors. What do you want to run? What do you want to experience? Infinite creative imagination and running on infinite love, because you're never going to put that fire out. So when you're running the hottest fire and light yourself on fire, that means you're not ever holding one electron captive. Otherwise, you're holding one captive, one electron captive, the first electron. That's right. And what is the first electron? I think it's hydrogen, right? The gas, when you take a poop, leave a poop. See how that works? The inverted language? You're taking one. No, I'm leaving one. See, and that's how they invert the language. Just like on one of their sports shows on ESPN, which is called First Take. I want the first piece of the pie. It's mine. And that's inverted, right? No, I'm going to give you the whole pie. The first sphere of light, the eternal sun. And you'd be surprised how that works when you're circulating and being programmed with inverted language that represents the fire letters, or if you will, numbers as energy. And how numbers represents math and geometry and the spiritual flow of our consciousness. To be held trapped by artificial light by virtue of that language. How that language works in vibration and frequencies of our radio set. So when you're a transmutation machine, you have to get rid of all this junk. It doesn't belong there because it isn't what love is. So if it isn't what love is, and we are what the law is, then we're supposed to be pushing what love is and not what fear is. Otherwise, we might be misidentified. No, I don't want to be. I know what I am. I am what love is. It goes on forever. I am what love is in living spirit, the eternal spirit of fire. Right? Giving away energy as fast as we can. Right? That's my 3 cents worth for the morning here on the Big Island. Boy, the sun was up nice and bright, and I could see the blue, the cryptic spiral blue, and then right on the outside, a deep purple. Yeah. If you've ever seen the picture of the schematics that Patty Broussard put up, where you see the colors and the purple on the outside, right? And then it's intense colors this morning when I was looking through my third eye. And then it's just, I'm very happy. We're getting close. It's called clearing the server. You know what a server is, right? We're clearing the gook, all the junk that doesn't belong there. Love is the law, and it's no longer negotiable. And I've known that since I was a little kid. And where do you think I get the memo? That's right, I get it from the one. That's called a direct line of communication. Have a beautiful day. We love you all. Be good to yourselves. Mua. Kamaloati.